All right, I just tucked the kid in for the night. Actually, it's a dog. After being out in the cold, he's exhausted and he's laying down and he doesn't want to move. Was out in the cold for about a little over 2 hours. It does make sense. I hope he doesn't get sick. But this video, the last two videos, were a little bit about Nancy Schaefer and a lot about Miss Lee. I really feel the need to give you guys a primer on how important Nancy Schaefer is, what it is that she did, and why. That way, those of you who really don't know who she is, maybe you'll look her up. Maybe you won't. Maybe you don't even have a passing interest. Maybe the children and the homeless don't mean shit to you, and you figure they might as well. Well, who knows? But if you actually care about your rights and about your children's rights, you do need to look into these things. Nancy Schaefer, we're going to put her name up here in the little Google thing. Nancy Schaefer, Google search. I already searched her, so it's already up there. We'll go to Wikipedia first. It says, what really took two lives in Schaefer case? All right. Nancy Smith Schaefer, 28th of June, 1936 to 26th of March, 2010, was an American politician and conservative legislator who served in the Georgia State Senate from 2004 to 2008. Let's see. Copy. Paste. There's what I'm reading right now. Education. Born in Clayton, Georgia, and of German descent, Schaefer went to the University of Georgia and the Atlanta College of Art. She then received her bachelor's degree from Wesleyan College. Political career. Schaefer became a prominent conservative political activist in Georgia in the 1980s. She subsequently ran for mayor of Atlanta in 1993 before running as the Republican Party's nominee for lieutenant governor of Georgia in 1994, where she lost to incumbent Democrat Pierre Howard. She unsuccessfully sought the Republican nomination for governor in 1998, finishing in third place behind Guy Milner and Mike Bowers with 7.7% of the vote in the party's primary election. She was elected to the state Senate in 2004 for the Northern State 50th District, where she served until she was defeated by Jim Butterworth in the Republican primary in 2008. She had also sought to wrest the Republican nomination for Georgia's 10th congressional district from Paul Brown in 2008, but withdrew her candidacy before the primary election. Beliefs. Throughout her career as an activist and politician, she was a champion of Christian conservative causes, opposing the Department of Child Protective Services, aka Department of Children and Families. After 4 years of investigation, on November 16, 2007, she published a report entitled The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services. After publishing the report in a press conference, she explained that the report caused her to lose her position as a Georgia state senator. In addition, she stood firmly in her support of the pro-life agenda and also opposed gay marriage. In her expressing the Christian belief, she promoted the display of the Ten Commandments in public places. She was a senior official in the Baptist Church, having served as a first vice president of the Georgia Baptist Convention. Now, there's a lot of stuff that this lady is against that I am all for. I am for gay marriage. Now, that's not entirely true. I actually view slavery as an archaic form of slavery. So I'm actually against all marriage. But as someone who believes in equality, yes, I do believe that if A man and a woman can get married. A man and a man should be able to get married, or a woman and a woman should get married. Should be able to get married if they want. I just don't understand why they would want to. Some of her beliefs, like the pro-life agenda, that's a sticky thing to get into, and it's not something that is really a part of this situation. Um, I don't. I'm not having abortions. I don't even have sex. So I mean, really, that's not something that affects me. And I don't know exactly what her opinions are on it. So I can't say whether I agree or disagree with her level of pro-life. That's something that, as a Christian, there's a possibility that she's an extremist. Con- Conservative, when it comes to situations like this, anytime you hear conservative Christian, you are talking about an extremist. The name don't fit it. Also, I'm fine with the Ten Commandments. I think that they're great rules as far as understanding, but at the same time, what public places? The Ten Commandments don't belong in a court of law. They don't belong at government buildings. We have a separation of church and state for a reason. Much of that reason is the sheer quantity of cruelty from Christians in this country towards anybody who thinks differently, including other Christians. Now, the other thing is being opposed to gay marriage. Obviously, that's something that her and I would have butted heads about. So, not everything that she did, not everything that she said, not everything that she was trying to do, not all of it is stuff that I would agree with. And I really don't have to. See, her champion causes were the homeless and, of course, the cruelty by CPS. Now, the first time I heard Nancy Pelosi, I thought to myself, this lady knows quite a bit more than most people in her position. Most people in the upper hierarchy don't give two shits about us. They're not going to think about us. They're going to argue a little bit with the constituents want, and then they're going to vote along party lines. Fuck America. Anyway, it says murder. Schaefer was found dead at her home in Turnerville, Georgia, in Habersham County on 26th March 2010 with a single gunshot wound to her back, along with her husband of 52 years, Bruce Schaefer, who was found with a single gunshot wound to his chest. Police concluded the deaths to have been a murder-suicide perpetrated by her husband, but the motive for the murder was unclear and never established. Before her death, she published and promoted the report, The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services, leading to conspiracy theories surrounding her murder. Upon her death, fellow state senator Ralph Hudgens eulogized her as almost like a rock star of the Christian right. Well, the Christian right, as you all know, hopefully by now, I don't have a whole lot of respect for. Now, individuals, that's different. We're going to click on the corrupt business of Child Protective Services. Right click, copy. This is her report. So we are going to post that next, right over here for everyone to see, if they actually care. Now, let's read this. We probably will not read all of it. It does look pretty decently long. Matter of fact, we will get back to that because there's a lot of other stuff. I want to make sure that I get the links and put them here so that you guys have access to it. Let's see, we'll go to YouTube and we'll type her name here. Actually, Miss Lee provided me with a gift. I'll probably grab that gift real quick and give it to you. What is that gift? Well, she already posted some stuff about this young woman. Well, I guess she wasn't young. This one is called Nancy Schaefer, Reflections on Georgia Politics. And I haven't actually listened to it yet. I'm not sure what it says, so this is kind of a grab bag and guess all. Um, and of course, she did send a few of these. Here's another one. This one's probably a little more along the lines of conspiracy theory, but we're going to post it up anyway. We do want to try to stick to facts, things that we can prove. Um, but, well, with this conspiracy stuff, first of all, it's important to realize how incredibly complicated that it can get and does get more often than not. Um, let's see, this one right here has a few more. Um, Copy link address. I don't know if this one will post. It was a little too long the way that I grabbed it before. I selected it from a different, no, it's got 301 characters and it only allows 200. So we are seeing and working within the limits of what we actually are capable of on YouTube. If it's got more than 200 characters, we're not going to be able to post it. So I do apologize that we are not able to post that one. Um, let's see. I did send her a few links to videos that I had made about Miss Schaefer as well, so those are in there. I guess we're going to look up is Nancy Schaefer on homelessness. It goes to Nancy Schaefer, Reflections on Georgia Politics, The Invisible Problem, Teenage Homelessness, Nancy Fairbank on TED Talks. You know what? I'm actually going to grab that. It's obviously not the same person, but it might be a good listen. Now, obviously, most of you aren't going to have time to listen to everything, and I am sorry for that. The more educated you are, the better off, but you don't necessarily have time to educate yourself when you're busy trying to feed yourself, clothe yourself, keep a roof over your head. Um, Farewell reception for Ed and Nancy Schaefer. Controversial San Francisco homelessness tax passes. State Senator disgusted with CPS. We'll post that one up there too. Copy link address. And this does not look like Miss Schaefer. It looks like someone else entirely. We'll post that one up. It's not a very long one. UND First Lady Nancy Schaefer is keynote speaker at Women for Philanthropy luncheon highlights. New temporary homeless shelter to house 100 people in Sacramento. Sacramento has what, 30,000 homeless people? Yeah, thanks for fucking pretending to help, assholes. San Francisco's homeless problem. Where's the money going? Imagine that. Wilson Walker takes a look at just how San Francisco spends millions of dollars on its homeless every year. 800 plus Georgia DFCS worker disciplined for violations. We're going to post that one here for you too. This is mainstream news right here, so you guys ought to eat that up. Homelessness in Texas, Joe Schaefer. Texas Homeless Network. That might be a good one to get into as well. But what we're mostly focused on is, uh, God, why is it all Nancy Pelosi? Children missing from CPS facility. We'll post that one up too. Copy link address. It's got pictures of children in it. We should have it taken down, except that it's from a mainstream news source. So somehow it's magically acceptable for them. Imagine that. We'll post it here. Whether you agree or disagree with Nancy Schaefer's politics or beliefs or religion or any of that, well, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't know you. I don't know what you're going to do with the information or if you even care. But at least it's there. It's also assembled in an area where you can look at least a few of them. Nancy Schaefer, she fought for the homeless and she fought for children who are victims of this United States government. A regime change is in order. And a lot of you say, oh, well, every time we have an election, we have a regime change. No, not really. We've got people who are permanently squatting at the White House. We've got people who are permanently squatting in Congress. They get 20 to 30-year terms. We're not talking about a fresh start. We're talking about getting rid of what do we lose every election. And mind you, some of these elections are every 4 years. Some of them are every 6 years. Some of them are every 2 years. So we don't have a regime change at all. We have people that are revolving dooring. They're going in and they're going out. They're going to be the senator in New York. And now they're going to be the governor of the same assholes over and over again. Nancy Schaefer was for certain a villain when it comes to the rights of homosexuals. I will not deny that in the least bit. When it comes to her beliefs on homosexuals, yeah, that's fucking horrible. She couldn't see homosexuals as people. She wanted to push the Bible a little bit much. We have a separation of church and state for a reason, because Christians abuse that power when they are allowed to have it. Our First Amendment protects all of our religious beliefs, or at least it is supposed to. It covers multiple things. Our First Amendment it's like the Swiss Army knife of amendments. And then we have to have a way to protect and enforce that amendment. And that's why we have the Second Amendment. And the United States government does everything in its power to remove firearms from anybody who will stand up to tyranny. If you're some gun-toting moron, yeah, they're fine with you having it. Long as you didn't get busted doing all of that stupid shit, you're fine. But when it comes to children in CPS, she's a hero. When it comes to the homeless, she's a hero. Did she succeed in what she was trying to do? No, she did not. But are we just going to drop it off, ignore it, and then start off from ground zero in 20 years? When your kids have kids, they're going into the system? No, we need to do something about it now. Kind of like the legalization of marijuana. It's been a long time coming. The worst thing about marijuana being illegal is the number of people who are focused primarily on making marijuana legal instead of more important things, like our children. Now, obviously, I didn't get a hold of Miss Lee to have her join in on this. I figured it's after 1 o'clock in the morning here. It is likely after, what would that be? Like 2 hours difference or 1 hour's difference? In either case, it's the crack of fucking early there. If it was summertime, it'd be just a short little bit till the sun comes up. I want you all to be safe, and I want you to remember that either we work together or we get nothing. You may not agree with the politics and the personal beliefs of a victim, but at the same time, if that victim was victimized by your predator, keep in mind, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Some of them may battle for position or hierarchy. That happens no matter what. But what we need to focus on is the actual issues, the actual problems, and the actual enforcement. And that's what we need. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of BLM. I am absolutely a big fan of black people being treated equally. I am a real big fan of stopping police violence towards civilians. So we're going to try to work on this a little bit later. I might sit down and try to take my mind off of things by playing a video game. Now, Miss Lee, if you guys pay attention, she will make progress with her ability to communicate. Given her situation tonight, and given the fact that, it's pretty obvious that nobody has actually listened to her in a good long while. But the more she gets used to this, and the more that she realizes that she's going to still get another chance, and another one after that, and another one after that, she'll start to slow down, and she'll start to be able to clearly and concisely bring up her points. Now, I told her I wasn't going to go interrupting her a bunch, and I actually did interrupt her a bunch. Sometimes she had a point that she really wanted to make, and if I was talking, she just continued talking right through it to make sure that it was said. And I'm all right with that. I also feel bad for interrupting her at that point. There's a few times where I really did need her to wrap it up real quick because we were going to get back to it, but I had something I needed to do. And, she might not get that chance again. So she wants to get as much said as possible right now. Now, the next time, it's going to be kind of similar. She's probably going to be talking pretty quick, and she's probably going to have a lot to say. Hopefully, she'll have her notebook and she'll have it written down, and that'll help out a lot. And then there's progression. The further we go down the line, the more she's able to say, the more she is able to trust that I will be here tomorrow to give her another opportunity. The more she is going to be able to progress with slowing down, speaking clearly and concisely, and saying things in a fashion where you are going to understand it. She had a lot of moments there where I was waiting on her to stop and catch her breath. She's got some brevity as far as that goes. And then again, so do I. Y'all be safe, stay out of trouble, or don't get caught.